こより第2試合を行います。赤が182センチ、102.3キロ。
Wanderlei Silva is 35'11", 225 pounds, 22, 2, 1, and 1 no contest in pride.
100.4 キロ。
Mirko Kro Kop turns 32 today, 6'2", 221 pounds, 15, 4, and 2 in Pride Fighting Championships. And right away, Trigg stopped the presses. The world middleweight champion comes into this open-weight semifinal bout 4 pounds heavier than Mirko Kro Kop. Is that going to affect Silva's notoriously renowned conditioning?
Another fight, I would say yes, but not with Wanderlei. It's not going to affect it at all.
The Saitama Super Arena has turned into a power station. It is electrified for this tilt. MMA fans wanted a dream match, and Trigg, it doesn't get any better than Kro Kop versus Silva.
Wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. To get to Kro Kop, you have to be aggressive. Oh my gosh. This definitely, we saw Kro Kop standing in the corner. He is completely pissed off about this fight. He is not happy at all.
Nice middle kick by Kro Kop and a good left hand as well. As there's Silva. The one thing on Silva is his wild striking. Kro Kop, the southpaw, can come back with that straight left like that.
Kro Kop's doing an incredible job of getting out of the way of all the punches. This is what I was talking about. The man that controls the ground and pound.
And he definitely raining down a series of hammer fists on Wanderlei Silva. The crowd at Saitama is going crazy. So now let's
being in no game, be able to punch and kick. As I say that,
nice up kick. He was maneuvering for the armbar, and they are back on their feet. Were you surprised that Kro Kop was able to take Silva down so early?
No, because the way he does his wild punching, you can see Silva's got. Oh no! He got dropped! He got dropped! Straight left hand put him right to the canvas.
We just talked about it. Silva's unorthodox striking techniques, the wide punches, and Kro Kop tagged him with a straight left.
You can see that Silva's right eye is starting to swell up, and that's from the left hand that he hit earlier before he put him down.
One thing about Silva, an amazing ability to recover rapidly when hurt in a fight. He'll have to really recover here if he wants to win this fight.
I like the way Kro Kop's being patient on top. He's not trying to burn himself out. He's picking his punches, picking his position.
Kro Kop, the only man in the tournament to have faced, or the Final Four to have faced the other competitors. 2 wins against Josh Barnett, a loss to Antonio Rodrigo Nogueira, and a draw, of course, with Wanderlei Silva at Pride 20. Also the only semifinalist not to have held a major title. Look at that eye, Trigg.
I'm telling you right now, you do not. I mean, he's really
the body language.
Yeah, we really got to start this fight again. He's bleeding. There we go.
But again, vision is paramount, is everything. Mirko Kro Kop now walking over. And of course, Kro Kop now is telling the referee we're going to start from the same position, right? Well, you know who is the more popular of the two fighters. Wanderlei Silva getting an incredible reaction from the crowd. And Mirko Kro Kop, though, continues. And look at Silva now. You see the desperation, Trigg. Wildly striking from the bottom.
He's got to use his legs a little bit more. He's not using his legs on Kro Kop. See, he's just kind of limply have his legs wrapped around Kro Kop.
This is similar to how we saw Silva in the Pride middleweight tournament when he was in the battle against Ricardo Arona, and that's what Arona was able to do to control him from that position and, of course, give him his first loss in over 5 years in the middleweight division. But now Mirko Kro Kop definitely doing damage to Wanderlei Silva. We talked about him being defensive. He's now been issued one of those yellow cards, which means a 10% deduction to his purse, and of course 3 yellow cards means a disqualification.
Well, I got to tell you what, I don't think that's for being defensive. I think it's because when he got up, he had a mouthful of blood and he dropped it on the mat.
Okay, well,
that's one of the things they don't want you to do is to spit blood out.
It'll be interesting to see because he definitely was defensive from the bottom, but they're back on their feet, and now Silva again Another nice middle kick delivered by Kro Kop.
He's doing a much better job. Kro Kop's elbows are starting to come up a little bit. His shoulders starting to get tight to his neck. It looks like he's getting a little tired.
And unfortunately, the desperation that Silva feels, you can see it in his punches, getting wilder and wilder with those looping lefts and rights. He needs to settle down, rethink his game plan against one of the best strikers in the business in Mirko Kro Kop. We have passed the midway point of round one. Nice by Silva.
Oh my gosh. Wow, it's great to see how Kro Kop's backing out. Oh, nice middle kick. We're already starting to see the redness on Wanderlei's right side of his hip.
Kro Kop!
Oh no!
We told you the left high kick has sent many opponents to the MMA mausoleum. Add Wanderlei Silva to the list. Mirko Kro Kop is on his way to the final.
I can't believe that. He threw one head-high left kick, and that was it. It put Wanderlei down. He did a great job of picking his spots, picking his position, used his hands to set everything up. Wanderlei wasn't even looking for the leg kick anymore because he never threw one head kick, and when he finally threw it, it connected. Ended the fight.
At 5 minutes and 22 seconds of the opening round, Mirko Kro Kop has KO'd Wanderlei Silva. Let's take a look one more time at one of the most shocking KOs in Pride history.
He set it up tremendously by throwing a right jab. He finally, I've said this before, and I've taken a lot of flack from you, Marl. These guys got to throw a lot more jabs. He threw a jab early, took a half step back, took a half step forward, and threw that leg kick and caught Wanderlei right in the top of the head.
Considering who his opponent was tonight, would you agree that this is the most dominant we have ever seen Mirko Kro Kop in Pride Fighting Championships? The way that he was able to just dismantle the Pride World Middleweight Champion, and people can say, yeah, but Silva's a smaller fighter. Tonight, he came in 4 pounds heavier than Kro Kop. Now, in hindsight, do you think the added weight added to what happened here tonight?
No, not at all. It had nothing to do with the added weight. It was the fact that Kro Kop was using his hands better. He was using straight, traditional Queensberry Rule style boxing. It was straight punching. Wanderlei was throwing looping punches. If you want to beat a guy like Mirko, who's a little bit taller than you, a little bit longer, you have to use straight punches. Wanderlei was using hooking punches. He got caught up in the inside. He just got cracked.
Trig, it's so easy to play armchair quarterback. Going back to the start of this fight, what could Wanderlei Silva have done differently to avoid what has been probably his worst defeat, his most brutal beating ever?
You know, I think just because that the way Wanderlei chose to fight him with his looping punches and being super aggressive in the beginning, he should have tried to take Kro Kop down to the ground and end up on top instead of spending so much time on the bottom. Now my question for you, Marlo, is that do you think he's going to be ready to fight in November?
Time will tell, because you're right. The UFC has called out Wanderlei Silva to fight their light heavyweight champion, Chuck Liddell.
Wanderlei's one of the toughest guys in the world that's going to come after it. I got to be honest with you. Wanderlei wants to fight Chuck Liddell. Wanderlei wants to come, Wanderlei obviously wants to come after it. And, we've heard from the inside that, obviously Pride wants this fight to happen. I mean, everybody in the world, the fans, both organizations, everybody wants this thing to have this thing happen. You got to remember, Wanderlei is a middleweight, a 205-pounder that stepped in to fight heavyweights. He made it to the semifinals of an open-weight tournament, being the only middleweight left. He did a great job, and losing to a guy like Kro Kop, it's incredible. I mean, there's no problem with him losing like this because he did such a great job against such a great opponent. And honestly, I got to tell you what, it's going to be a great match to see those two fight. I really do think he can beat Chuck.